It's Calgary's podcast on the Canada's Podcast Network.
Today's guest is Linda Southern-Heathcott, who is CEO of Spruce Meadows, the sprawling equestrian facility in Calgary's deep south. Welcome to the show, Linda, and thanks for taking the time today to be here for our listeners.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me.
For those not aware, tell us a bit about Spruce Meadows, its history, and how much it has grown over the years.
So Spruce Meadows is an equestrian venue that was started 44 years ago by my parents, Marg and Ron Southern. It was a venue to give back to Calgarians and Albertans and Canadians, also a venue to assist in the production of young athletes, to help them aspire to international acclaim and international success in the equestrian sport. Over the 44 years, I think what we set out to do at Spruce Meadows, actually I know what we set out to Spruce Meadows has really come to fruition in the fact that we've had Canadian gold medal winners at the Olympics, we've had a team silver, we've had numerous World Cup winners, and they've excelled on the World Championship scene. So it's really a wonderful venue. It's open year-round for public to enjoy. It is, we focus on show jumping, but it is a community place with lots of things for families to do at Spruce Meadows year-round.
How did you end up running the show here?
Well, I was one of the perks, I guess, of being a daughter, and I evolved into it. I was originally an athlete, and then began putting my toe into running the business. And about 2005, I became president and CEO.
Tell me a little bit about doing business in Calgary. What are the benefits of being here?
Well, Calgary's a great city. When we have a number of corporate sponsors and supporters. And Calgary has had a really can-do attitude. People have embraced what we do here. You know, we're open, as I mentioned, 365 days a year. We've really never had any vandalism. People protect the place. I think that we have an entrepreneurial spirit in Calgary.
What about the challenges that we're facing these days?
Yeah, the challenges, how about we say opportunities? I think as one of the things that we have to do as Canadians is to be united. And the negative discord is destructive, and it's best to put your best foot forward and try and find a solution for all Canadians. That's what I believe will be the best for all of us in Canada.
When you look at entrepreneurs out there looking to start a business, would you recommend Calgary?
Always, yeah. Calgary has, really, you have a wonderful lifestyle in Calgary. You have the mountains an hour and a half away. You have, blue sky. We have so many opportunities here. And they too will come back. I think our city has diversified. We see a great deal of diversity in the citizens of Calgary. And I believe that we have all the opportunities available to us. We just have to find the right direction to go.
Now, obviously, you've got a very busy schedule out here, especially throughout the summer. But how do you disconnect and get recharged and inspired?
I get inspired with our team. I think in running a business, if you have a good team around you, it's really, really very easy. Lots of people talk about bricks and mortar of a business or wires and pipes. But it's really about the team and the people that you work with. And if you have a good team, anything is possible. And, when everybody's moving in the right direction, it's very easy. For Spruce Meadows, the business that we run, we're just about to launch our season. And, we have athletes from all around the world that have joined us. We have 5 of the top 10 in the world ranking list that have said that Spruce Meadows is the best place for them to be. So I see, our team has done that. Spruce Meadows is successful, but it's because of all the people that have joined with us and our stakeholders. So it's my colleagues at Spruce Meadows, it's our sponsors, it's the media, it's, the community around, the fan base. and of course our athletes. And so what I like about our business is that you're able to put all of those constituents and stakeholders together, and they're all working together for the best and for the ultimate goal of being successful. And so I think that applies in any business. I don't think that that's just for sport. I think it applies to anything.
What are you most excited about Spruce Meadows right now?
Oh, it's so nice to see the horses here. And, when you go to put on a party, you're always worried, is anybody going to attend? And everybody's attending. So, I guess that's a pat on our back saying, you're doing a good job. And what we believe in our pursuit of excellence is being applauded by the athletes and our sponsors.
And what's your vision for Spruce Meadows going forward?
So Spruce Meadows has quite a big vision in my mind. We're right on the corner of the transportation utility corridor, right beside the growing city, but we're still in the MDF foothills. So I see Spruce Meadows as a growth opportunity right now. We have the ability, right now we're working on an area structure plan with the city, together with the MD. It's in the intermunicipal plan, and we're working on having a commercial district, having a sport district, and then of course an agricultural district. And as that develops, I'm very excited about the future for Spruce Meadows.
What's been the greatest challenge, I guess, in the last year of operating and running Spruce Meadows?
Oh, I'd say the roadways.
Yeah.
So we're we buttress right onto the Stony Trail expansion. So the roads have really caused us a lot of challenges. Communicating, I think communication is really tough for everybody to understand that, if you haven't been to Spruce Meadows in the last year or whatever, you're going to get here and go, it's Mars out there. So the construction of the Stony Trail really, I would say, is our biggest challenge at the moment, and communicating it.
When you look back in hindsight, what do you know now that you wish you would have known when you first started this job?
Ooh, everything.
Baptism by fire in a lot of ways.
I look to mentors in my life to see how they have handled different challenges or opportunities, and I couldn't have had two better mentors than my mother and my father, Marg and Ron Southern. I think I always classified that my father as soldiering through everything, and being very focused, but my mother always did it with grace and a smile on her face. And so if I can mix those two, I think we'll be successful.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Understand that you don't know everything, and to reach out to individuals to get their advice, because much of their advice is very sage and it's outward looking in. And sometimes when you're in a business, it's easy to get really bogged down in the weeds. And I think that having good advisors and trusted advisors, I think, is the most important thing in business.
I'm going to switch gears and ask you a couple personal things right now. Tell me what's on top of your bucket list.
Oh, wow, my bucket list. I've been so fortunate over my life. I'm not sure I have a bucket list. I have a goal in my life is to wake up every day and make the best I can of each day. I don't always achieve that, so it's a lofty goal at times. But yeah, I don't know that I have anything on my bucket list. I guess sitting at the lake and having a glass of wine is always there.
Sounds good to me. What about if you weren't doing what you're doing today? What career or what job or profession do you think you would be doing?
I would like anything in marketing and communication. I find meeting people is so engaging, and you learn so much about people because it's really people that, if you've ever traveled, some people will say, I really like going to Holland or I like going to Switzerland, but it's really about the experiences and the people that you meet, not necessarily the country. And so I think I'm a people person.
What book are you reading right now?
I'm reading Sapiens. And it's a history of the humans. So it's a very good book.
And why are you reading it?
Yeah, I just want to understand the evolution of humanity, and I think it's good to always learn.
If there's one word that you would use to describe yourself, what would it be and why?
Me? I think I would say I'm shy. I'm very driven, but I'm quite shy.
Is there anything that keeps you up these days that worries you or is troublesome for you?
Well, I think you touched on it earlier, is the economy in Alberta. And I am concerned with the political rhetoric on all sides. But I don't think that that's just Canadian. I think that that's worldwide. I am concerned that we, as a whole in the world, people don't want to work together. And I think that we have to put our differences aside and find a way to work together, whether it's in Canada, to find a good solution, in the United States, in Europe, and you see it everywhere. And that is concerning to me.
If you had to pick a favorite place in the world, outside of Calgary, of course, what would it be and why?
My favorite place would be Summerlin, BC. We have a cottage there, and it's just very peaceful, and it's my oasis away from the hectic world.
Let's talk about a little bit about your routines. Do you have daily routines, whether it's morning or evening, that is just something that you just have to do each day?
I really try to get up in the morning and go for a long walk. It's a time for myself early in the morning to think about my day. And I find that if I spend a little bit of time for me, the day becomes so much easier. So I would say that's my biggest routine.
Okay, I'm going to ask you an oddball question, but imagine a small tropical island somewhere off in the middle of the ocean that has only one phone booth but has no internet, no TV, nothing of that sort. We're going to drop you off there with no technology, but at any time you can use the phone to make a call, and the boat can bring you back home. How long do you think you'd last before making that phone call, and what do you think you would do in the meantime?
Do I have a book?
You could.
I'd probably last a few weeks. I'm quite comfortable on my own. And I'd probably try and be creative there. And I would read. And I think if I could take one book, I probably would take the Bible, because I think it would bring me a certain, for me, it isn't religious. I'm spiritual. I'm not religious, but I believe it would be that would be what I would choose.
Interesting. Is there anything else you'd like to add that I didn't ask you today?
No, I think that people that are starting up businesses or wanting to excel, you have to have a belief in your dreams and your ambition, and you have to work hard. There's no shortcuts. And as long as you bring the right attitude, I think you can succeed at anything.